He sought help at the hospital for chest pains, but was released. Now his family seeks answers about his death. Change at the top.
I do not feel like I was pushed out. Again, I think it would be reflective. I wouldn't be here today if I was being pushed out.
Why senior management at City Hall is leaving. And back behind the wheel.
So you were working with people and you had fun.
A senior's wish fulfilled.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. A Calgary man who was taken to a Brooks hospital earlier this month complaining of chest pain was later released. Less than 30 minutes later, he was dead. Now his family is seeking answers. Tyson Fedora joins us with the details. And Tyson, the man's family is wondering why he was allowed to leave the hospital.
Well, Ian, the family of 61-year-old Feng Nguyen, who was taken to a Brooks medical center, he was complaining of those chest pains. His family's now deeply saddened and shocked about how those symptoms were actually treated when he arrived at the Brooks Medical Center. Nguyen was working construction in the community on April the 18th. He complained of chest pains to his co-workers, who then took him to Brooks Health Center. His family in Calgary then made the drive to be with him. Nguyen's family says he had previous heart conditions and stomach problems. A doctor at the Brooks Hospital sent him home with a prescription for his stomach issues. Nguyen left the health center but died in the car around 30 minutes later. Despite life-saving efforts from his niece and eventually firefighters and EMS, Nguyen died and was transferred to nearby Bassano. His family says the medical examiner determined that his death was due to heart failure. The family has filed a complaint with AHS. His niece is now demanding answers.
So they advised me to do CPR. I did, but of course, we're not professional. I try my best to do, and then I see his face turn purple already. So I did everything I could until they arrived, hoping that another family member don't face with the same situation like this.
In a statement today, Alberta Health Services deems this a tragic outcome, in a statement saying that they take cases like this, quote, very seriously, and at this time will not be commenting further due to patient privacy, but they are reviewing this case. Ian?
Thank you, Tyson. A tearful day in court today at the sentencing hearing for a Calgary man who pleaded guilty to causing a Boxing Day crash that killed a 9-year-old girl. Family said Victoria Desjardins was a bright, funny child with a strong moral compass. She was killed in the crash that injured 7 others, including her older sister and mother. Dwayne Napus admitted to causing the crash after robbing a pharmacy, stealing a minivan, and speeding through a red light. The hearing included 13 victim impact statements. Several family members, including her mother, sister, and young cousins, read them out loud. More time is needed for the hearing, so a new date will be picked in May.
That works up a lot of anxiety, that works up a lot of tension. It takes a lot of time to emotionally and mentally prepare for something like this, only to effectively be shot in the foot again.
The Crown wants Napus to get 9.5 to 10.5 years in prison and a lifetime driving ban. Court heard a psychiatric report described Napus as a high risk to violently offend again. A judge has approved payouts in a class action lawsuit by more than 50 former students at John Ware Junior High School. The students allege abuse by 2 former teachers. Michael Gregory was charged in 2021 with sexual assault and sexual exploitation, but he later took his own life. Fred Archer worked at the school in the 1990s and was later convicted of abusing boys at a different school. The payments range from $24,000 to $422,000 each. The payments are determined on the amount and severity of the abuse. A total of $15.8 million must be paid by the Calgary Board of Education and a smaller amount from Gregory's estate. The City of Calgary's top 2 unelected officials will be gone by the end of this year. Chief Operating Officer Stuart Dalgleish is set to retire in June, and Chief Administrative Officer David Duckworth will also leave his position December 1st. The CAO is the city's top bureaucrat and only employee that serves directly under council. It's being called a mutual decision, but some councillors have called for leadership changes for months. Duckworth's departure will come 7 months ahead of his contract ending, but he'll receive 16-month severance on a salary of $410,000 a year.
I do not feel like I was pushed out. Again, I think it would be reflective. I wouldn't be here today if I was being pushed out. I've agreed for a transition to carry through to the end.
Duckworth's last day coincides with the projected completion date of the Bearspaw feeder main replacement project. The search for a replacement CAO will start right away. The city is taking an educational approach as opposed to punishment for its new watering schedule. Yesterday, council approved a year-round lawn and landscape watering schedule. Watering will be limited to between 7 p.m. and 10 a.m. Even-numbered homes can water on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Odd-number homes can water Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. There are exemptions for watering of trees, food gardens, and newly planted landscapes. The city's goal is to reduce water use by 20% by 2040. Gas prices around the city surged overnight. Many Calgarians are filling up today for $1.85 a litre. According to Gas Buddy, the cheapest you'll find gas in Calgary is $1.57.9. The highest is over $1.92, which one oil and gas expert says speaks to the resource's volatility. The surge comes as markets deal with the conflict around the Strait of Hormuz.
The world is losing more than 10 million, maybe 15 million barrels a day of production. And so inventories are declining. And though we tried to talk it down, the president has said, oh, the war will be over. There's no indication that's happening.
The federal government's fuel tax pause remains in effect until Labor Day. That is saving drivers 10 cents a litre. The Alberta government still says it's waiting for the quarter to end June 30th before seeing if it can offer fuel tax relief. The province has raised the speed limit on a 22-kilometre stretch of the QE2 highway. South of Leduc, drivers can now go 120 kilometres an hour. Posted signs indicate the area where it's allowed, and law enforcement will be monitoring the area during the pilot project. The province says a recent survey showed 70% of respondents agreed with the government's desire to increase the speed limit on rural, divided highways. It was just like getting back on a bicycle, except he was getting behind the wheel of a bus.
How's that feel?
Telmore Sardison relived his glory days today by driving a bus. The 89-year-old used to drive for Greyhound in the 1960s. He got this opportunity to drive friends and family around in a national motor coach thanks to the Living List program at the Providence Way Retirement Community. And Telmore says he loved driving a bus and says it was a wonderful feeling to do it again.
Well, it's just when you drive for Greyhound in those days, people used Greyhound buses. You always had lots of passengers. So you were working with people and you had fun.
In previous Living List wishes, seniors have gone fishing with grandchildren and flown a flight simulator. Oh, wonderful. Good for him. Great day to go for a drive, too. We've got wonderful weather, don't we?
Yes, nice, like anything outdoors, yes. Whether it's taking a nice drive, going on the bike, even a walk out there. We're finally seeing a nice sustained stretch of seasonal, if not above seasonal weather, and it only gets better as we get into the back half of the work week. But we're sitting at 15 degrees right now. A little bit of on and off cloud coverage, and you see a bit of those Virga clouds, kind of that inky look in the sky, showing there is a little bit of precipitation up in those clouds, but not a lot of it's making it to the surface, as we're seeing on the radar satellite right now. Your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. Family-owned, community-driven. Discover more at Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. Really nice setup, clearing overnight, so that'll cool things off to a low of -1. And then we pick things back up into the 20s tomorrow, Ian, and we've got a few days with 20 degrees in store.
Thanks, Gina. City police are concerned about an uptick in community mailboxes being broken into. Still to come, how that crime can lead to other financial crimes. And weapons charges laid after a police investigation into a woman's murder last year. Several months after a woman was murdered in a parking garage, Calgary police have charged a man with weapons offenses. Last July, 23-year-old Madison Cobb was shot to death. Her ex-boyfriend was charged with first-degree murder. Today, police announced charges connected to the gun used in the case. They executed a search warrant at a home in the 2700 block of 16th Avenue Southwest and seized 4 rifles and 3 shotguns, including one with a serial number that had been altered. They also found ammunition. 44-year-old Kesh Cameron is charged with several offenses, including firearms trafficking and 1 count of possession of a prohibited device. 2 men faced nearly 100 charges after a series of community mailbox thefts in northeast Calgary. Police say suspicious activity was reported in Skyview Ranch just after 2:30 a.m. on April 21st. They tracked the suspect vehicle, and officers say when they pulled it over, they found a large amount of stolen mail, including credit cards, checks, and other identifying letters, along with break-in tools. Police say mail theft can lead to identity theft and financial fraud. They're also calling the number of incidents this year an alarming uptick.
In District 5, we've had 37 different mailboxes reported since the start of the year. So we're trying to really work to decrease that. Again, we're trying to raise awareness with the community to be aware of anybody in your area looking at the boxes. Anything that looks suspicious, please call us right away. If there is something happening right at the time, dial 911.
Canada Post says it's working with police to increase security measures. It's also encouraging people to pick up their mail daily and track important deliveries. A garage and several vehicles were destroyed by fire in northeast Calgary this afternoon. Thick black smoke was coming from the structure when firefighters arrived. EMS assessed 1 person on scene for injuries, but they did not transport anyone to hospital. While attacking the blaze, firefighters heard some popping noises, possibly coming from magnesium in the vehicles, so they switched from water to fire extinguishers. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Gina, you mentioned riding a bike earlier on, and you could do that today, tomorrow, the day after, and it's nice to have a few days in a row of nice weather.
I mean, I know people that were biking when we were dealing with all that snow last week. So some people, once spring comes around, they're locked in. But finally, we're seeing the weather cooperate with the season that we're in. So a beautiful day today, seasonal out there, if not slightly above it here in the city. This is what we're looking at right now through our Skywatch weather camera. A lot of blue sky, a couple of cloudy spots, but temperatures have just been fantastic for today. We do see our winds right now coming out of a northerly direction over the city at about 20 to 30 kilometers an hour, gusting into the mid-30s if you're in the Lethbridge area. And that wind coming from a cooler direction, but it's all under a nice ridge of high pressure. So for the most part, we're dealing with a nice setup here that's just going to improve throughout the rest of the week. So temperatures right now are in the mid-teens in many areas. We're seeing 17 in Lethbridge right now, 16 if you're joining us in Medicine Hat or Brooks. Here in the city, we're at 15. In the central part of the province, the capital region's at 17 right now, and we're seeing 16 in Red Deer. By the time tomorrow comes, we're going to turn up the temperature a little bit, get us up into the 20s. So we're aiming for a high of 21 tomorrow, and even better by the time Friday comes around. This is our radar satellite showing a little bit of scattered precipitation really throughout areas close to the foothills, again moving in the direction of the wind out of the north-northwest. But the bigger picture shows a lot of precipitation following the south side of the jet stream here. So this is what it looks like close to the surface. This is what we're dealing with a little higher up in the atmosphere. There's that curve I was just showing you there where that precipitation is developing, mostly in rain, some areas getting a bit of wet snow. But this ridge moves nicely as we get into Thursday, so that's going to keep things nice and sunny in southern Alberta and allow those temperatures to really warm up. Friday's looking good too. It's on Saturday that we see a little bit of a blip in this nice warming trend. So you can't really tell by what we're seeing here, but the waviness to this jet stream is going to allow some cooler temperatures to move in, some clouds to develop that could be capable of producing some light rain Saturday morning. But then that ridge really starts to rebound as we get into Sunday and Monday. So more warm weather after that little cool down on Saturday. And you see that play out in the 3-day forecast here regionally. Nice Thursday and Friday in many markets, and then that slight dip as we get into Saturday there with a bit more of that cloud. But the 10-day trend really shows we're being pretty consistent here with several days that are above seasonal, then a couple of days in between that get us back to where we should be at this time of year. When we throw in the conditions, just a really nice setup for the next 5 days.
Looks very nice. Thanks, Gina. They'll be raising a glass and saying cheers a lot this weekend at the BMO Centre. Just ahead, how the growth in craft breweries has led to growth at the Calgary International Beerfest. Canada and the U.S., central banks are keeping interest rates right where they are. Joining me is Robert Geary, investment advisor with the Popwich Carmali Advisory Group. So, Rob, how did the markets close out the day?
Yeah, there's a little bit of selling pressure into the close here, Ian, but it wasn't too bad. And I think the big one that I was focusing on here is the tech stocks. The NASDAQ closed almost at a neutral place, but we had a ton of tech stocks. We're starting to report after the bell. And at the time we're talking here, it was the initial review of what was going on with CapEx spending. And I initially saw Meta trading significantly down because they upped their CapEx expenditure. That's what the market didn't want to see. We're going to have to see what happens in these press conferences and what their leaders say on the other firms going forward and how that shapes up overnight.
Meantime, the Bank of Canada and the U.S. Federal Reserve are standing pat on interest rates.
Yeah, both sides of the border, and this was expected. And, I think that they were both kind of handcuffed in the sense of what's going on here. And this is uncertainty of what tariff, war, and inflation. Inflation was mentioned on both sides. And Tiff Macklem on the Canadian side was pretty apparent in saying that, hey, we could get higher inflation. We're betting on this on a numerical number on oil staying around 75 or coming back to $75 a barrel. We're up way above that. We're at 107 right now. So it's all about if this stays higher for longer, they may have to look at raising rates. But I'm telling you, it's a lot tougher here in Canada with a softer housing market as well as a tough labor market as well here. And we're very sensitive to rates. So they're going to be hard done by to raise rates here in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks for the update.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Today is World Wish Day, and one Make-A-Wish kid got to fulfill hers at South Centre Mall.
Superintendent World.
Calgarian Sawyer May is a big fan of Super Mario Brothers, and now she's going to Super Nintendo World in Florida's Universal Studios. The Make-A-Wish Foundation helps sick kids like Sawyer May realize their dreams. She has some major surgery coming up this summer, and her mom says the wish will lift her spirits. You can learn more at makeawish.ca. Starting Friday, it's going to cost significantly more to park at Sylvan Lake. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. Calgarians heading to the lake for the day can expect to shell out $50 for a parking spot near the water. And it is not much cheaper further away from the shore. Coming up at 6, why the cost of parking is skyrocketing, plus we'll have reaction. Also ahead, the province chooses one of the busiest sections of the QE2 to test a higher speed limit. You'll hear why coming up at 6. Ian.
Thanks, Tara. From tasty lagers to refreshing pilsners, dozens of local craft breweries will feature their work at the Calgary International Beerfest. The event kicks off Friday night at the BMO Centre. And joining me is Bill Robinson. He is the president of the festival. Welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me, Ian. This is great.
Now, we've seen so much growth in craft breweries here in Alberta over the years. How has that fueled the growth in your festival?
Well, this is going to be our 20th anniversary, so it's a pretty big year for us. And if I think back to the first year when people thought we were crazy because there was only 5 breweries in the entire province of Alberta. So a lot of it was international beers at that time, or beers from BC and stuff like that. So our festival was mostly beers from elsewhere. And you fast forward now, we've got over 200 craft breweries in the province, over 60 craft distillers. Our festival has over 250 different beverage exhibitors at it. So it's grown. Like a few years ago, we actually had a good laugh because we looked at the coat check and we're like, that was the size of the festival the first year. Like, that's a good sign of the growth, right? But it also shows how this is such a homegrown type business, right? We grow the ingredients here. Alberta is very well known for its 2-row malt barley. We've got the best water sources in the world coming out of the Rockies. And now we've got all these great craft breweries. So it's a very closed circuit economy. You've got people, you're growing the ingredients here, you're making the beer here, people are consuming it here, and it's that money staying in the economy, which is really, really important, especially right now when we talk about buying local, buying Canadian, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What trends are you seeing in the brewing business nowadays?
I would say that the number one trend is diversity. So when you first started out, it seemed like everybody was like trying to have the best IPA, or like they were trying to outdo each other in that kind of regard, because that was a really pinnacle for a brewer to be able to accomplish brewing an IPA. But now it's just the wide range of beverages that they have. A lot of them have diversified because it's sort of like keeping up with trends, right? So an RTD, or ready to drink, they might have like, hard seltzers or hard teas or things like that are really great that they had to branch off into. Then you've got like the non-alcs or the de-alcs. There's a wide range of that.
And to see my extended interview with Bill Robinson, visit ctvnewscalgary.ca. You might want to enjoy a beverage in the sunshine over the next few days. The great weather is finally here. It's 15 degrees right now. Gina has the forecast coming up. Gina, I suspect by noon tomorrow, patios along 17th Avenue at those restaurants and bars packed with people.
Absolutely. And what's nice about the warming trend we're going to experience is we don't have the winds that's really fueling the warmth, which has been the case for a lot of the winter months when we get those nice Chinooks. So we just have so much sunshine in our forecast coming up here, and longer days too. So beautiful conditions to be on the patio, get the barbecue going. Fabulous Thursday and Friday in store. We're at 15 right now. We got to a high of 16, so in the higher end of the seasonal range there. And like I was alluding to, Thursday and Friday back into the low 20s for a couple of days, and that little blip on Saturday, but that's not the end of those 20-degree temperatures, Ian.
Thank you, Gina. The performers have been revealed for one of the most popular events during Stampede Week. Billy Idol will be the headliner on night one of the Roundup Music Fest at Princess Island Park on Wednesday, July 8th. Idol has been announced as an inductee this year into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Also performing that night is David Lee Roth, formerly of Van Halen. On night two of the Roundup on July 9th, the headliners will be Foster the People. Thanks for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.